Hi, I'm Alexandra Mazel, and I'm going to teach you how to storyboard. First, you'll want a script, or at least an image in mind about the scene that you want. First, you want to label, of course. I'm going to draw a romantic scene. And then you want to label it so that you know the order, which will be this small box right here. This will be my first scene. And this box over here will be how long it is. So I'm going to say this romantic scene is 1 to 2 minutes. Then we want to make sure that we write down all of our details first. It helps us create the image, and it's just more organized that way. First, you want to start with your dialogue. For dialogue, this is where what the person would be saying in the scene would be written. So you want to add quotes, and of course, the person's name. I'm going to name her Maria, and she is going to be saying, I love, I can't spell today, you. Okay. And off camera, Bob, that's Bod, will be saying, I love you too. Okay, now that we have that, we're going to move on to the action. The action, what you're going to do is you want two things. You want your camera, what it's doing, and you want what the people are doing in the scene specifically. So, for example, this would be a medium, close-up. Maybe it'll be a still shot. Still. For camera. And then maybe the people will be standing in place, and Maria will be looking at Bob. At Bob. Maybe the wind will be blowing, or, you know, you don't have to get too specific. You can if you want. I'm not saying there's going to be wind that just pops out of nowhere to make the scene perfect, but you can add it if you want. Wind blowing. You can describe the scenery. Tree in background. Looking at each other. Okay, and then for your music, this is where you're gonna label a specific song or a specific tune that you want in it. I will put, Elton, I don't know how to spell his name, John's love song. There. And then you get to drawing. So drawing, you cannot do stick figures. Do not do stick figures. You will not get hired for that. And honestly, it's not gonna look nice. So you don't want to go too detailed. Like, you could do little like circle heads, or you could be completely detailed and use a specific character, such as like if it was a storyboard for Mickey Mouse, they of course would draw the 3 circles indicating it's Mickey Mouse. So in my scene, I am going to have the two looking at each other. So we're going to start with a circle, then another circle. This will show me where the characters' heads are going to be. And since this is a medium close-up, we're going to probably stop at their shoulders. So they are currently looking at each other. I'm drawing these like cross little things. It'll help me indicate where their faces are gonna go. And these lines are their necks. Now I'm going in with the shoulders. Bob's got a really long neck apparently. Yeah. This one here will be Maria. Also in your action, it also will help if you put like what side people are on. Obviously in this specific scene, Maria and Bob are two different genders, so it's easy to indicate who is who, but you can also be very detailed, such as if it was two girls, you'd want to be specific. Because just by looking at them, you won't be able to tell who's who. Okay. Yeah. Maria's looking pretty decent. Okay, and then I'm gonna move on to Bob's outfit. I don't know why I have his shoulder so far down, but okay. Bob is going in for a hug. We'll put hugs Maria. There we go. Apparently has no shoulder. It's okay. Like I said, it doesn't have to be amazing. Here I got my eraser. I'm erasing my little imperfections, fixing up things, which is perfectly fine. Okay. Give a little detail on the clothing. Okay, now we're gonna move on to their faces. Since they're looking at each other, we want to make sure that the drawing has them looking at each other, because it won't make sense if you have a character looking straight into the camera when you have written down that they're looking at each other. They are looking at each other. We're just currently drawing their head shapes. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the little details such as expressions. Since they're in love, we're gonna have blushy blush. Now, expressions is a major thing when drawing a storyboard, because even though you have it written in the script, their expression or how they're feeling, or you'll have it in your action, it's also easier to have a visual of what you want them to be feeling, because sometimes if it's a quick pace thing, it's easier just to look visually than read it. So they are in love, they are smiling. Bob's over here with his little grin, and she's so happy. Okay, now we're gonna move on to their hair. Ooh, what hair should Bob have? You know what, I'll give him like Sonic inspired spikes, spiky hair. They're looking more like Sora from Kingdom Hearts. Oh, he's now getting a mullet. That's okay. Your actors aren't gonna look specifically like the drawings, but if you did have actors picked out beforehand, it would be easier just to draw them. But because this is just an example, I'm going to draw it any way I want. Spiky spikes. Wow. He's like human Sonic, but not, because Sonic has better hair. Okay, and now we're moving on to Maria. We're gonna give her little bangy bangs. Like I said, you don't have to go too detailed as long as it's not stick figures and you can clearly tell what it is. Okay, finishing up Maria's hair. Maybe she's got a little spiky spike too. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the background. The background, you don't have to go too detailed as long as it paints a picture of where you want the camera to be. So, for example, because I wrote there's gonna be a tree in it, I have to have a tree in the background. I was thinking it would be really romantic if there was like a cherry blossom tree. I cut off her arm. Also, if you can't tell, I can't draw hands. For my hands, I usually just draw little circles. So there's the tree in the background. Okay, that's definitely a tree. Okay, it's okay if it looks cartoonish. I mean, they're probably not asking for super realistic. This is just a little look. to see like what the scene would look like. So it really doesn't need to be extravagant. We're gonna have hills in the background. Yep, because they're closer to the camera. We're gonna have the sun setting. Oh wow, look at that, so romantic. Maybe add some little clouds. Okay, some birds. Like I said, you don't need to go too detailed, as long as it paints a picture. And there, we're done. Thank you for watching, and this was how to make a storyboard.